So there is a listing strategy that top home sellers in Las Vegas are using right now that most agents in this city will never tell you about. Not because it doesn't work. It works incredibly well, but because when sellers understand it, they stop settling for average results and start demanding more from the people they hire. And I'm gonna go ahead and walk you through the whole thing today, every piece of it, because I believe that an informed seller is a seller who is winning. And winning is the only outcome I'm interested in. So if you are thinking about selling your Las Vegas home in the next 3 to 12 months, this video is the most important thing you'll watch before you make any decisions. Let's go. Real quick, my name is Chriscashjalem, Las Vegas realtor, content creator, and the guy who specializes in making sure sellers in this market walk away with every dollar they are entitled to, not just the number some agent pulled out of a database. I've been in the city over 20 years, and I've watched sellers leave real money on the table repeatedly because nobody took the time to actually show them how the game works from the seller side. Today, I'm changing all of that. Here's what you are going to learn: the exact listing strategy that separates sellers who dominate their market from sellers who just hope for the best. So let's go ahead and get right to it. Point number one: why most Las Vegas listings fail before they start. Let me go ahead and start with the uncomfortable truth about how most homes get listed in Las Vegas. Agent gets hired. Agent pulls comps from the MLS. Agent suggests a price. Homeowner agrees or negotiates it slightly. Photos get taken, sometimes with a decent camera, sometimes with a phone. We've all seen those listings, right? Homes go live on the MLS, and then everyone sits back and waits. That's it. That's the strategy for a significant percentage of listings in this city. List it and wait. And here's the problem with that: the Las Vegas buyer pool is not passive. Buyers, especially relocation buyers coming from California and other high-cost markets, are sophisticated. They are doing deep research before they even contact an agent. They're preparing and they're comparing dozens of listings simultaneously. They're making snap judgments based on photography, pricing, presentation, and digital presence within the first 30 seconds of seeing a listing. If your home hits the market looking average, priced without precision, with no compelling narrative around why it's worth what you're asking, you've already lost the attention war before anyone schedules a showing. The market doesn't reward average. It rewards exceptional presentation backed by smart strategy. And the difference between those two things isn't always the home itself. It's almost always the approach. Point number two: the pre-market window. The most valuable 30 days nobody uses. Here's the first major piece of the strategy that most agents completely skip. And it might be the most valuable one. Before your home ever hits the MLS, there is a pre-market window, a period where smart listing agents are building demand before the listing even goes public. What does that look like in practice? It means getting your home photographed, staged, and fully prepped while simultaneously marketing the coming soon status to a curated network. Active buyers agents who have clients in your price range and neighborhood, relocation professionals who have people ready to move. It means building a digital presence, social content, email campaigns, targeted ads. That creates awareness and anticipation before day one. It means that when your home officially hits the MLS, it is not launching cold into a quiet market. It is launching into a pre-warmed audience that has already been thinking about it. Pre-market demand building is the difference, and most agents skip it entirely because guess what? It requires real work. Point number three: precision pricing. Why the right number is a science and it's not a guess. Let's talk about pricing because this is where sellers get hurt the most. And it happens in two opposite directions. Overpricing is the most common mistake. And I understand why it happens. You love your home, I get it. You've put money into your home. You have a number in your head that feels right, and then an agent, sometimes just trying to win your listing, validates that number or goes even higher to get the contract signed. Here's what overpricing does in the Las Vegas market. It burns your launch window. The first 7 to 14 days a home is on the market are the most valuable days. That's when buyer interest is the highest, when the listing feels fresh, when motivated buyers are paying attention. If you price wrong during that window, you burn that opportunity. Days on the market accumulate, price reductions become necessary, and now you're in a position where buyers are asking what is wrong with it, because a home that's been sitting always triggers that question. Underpricing is the other trap, less common but equally damaging. Some agents suggest a lower price to generate quick multiple offers, which sounds great in theory, but if you haven't done the work to actually create competitive offer conditions, the pre-market buildup, proper staging, the strategic launch, you just sold your home cheap. There's nothing strategic about that at all. Precision pricing is different from both. It's a comprehensive analysis that goes beyond pulling 3 comps from the MLS. It looks at active competition, what's on the market right now, competing for the same buyer. It looks at absorption rate. How fast are homes in this price band actually selling? It looks at buyer psychology. What price point triggers the right search filters to maximize your audience? And it looks at your specific home's features relative to everything else available. That's how you arrive at a number that isn't a guess, it's a position. Price is a strategy. It's not a hope. Point number 4, the presentation gap. What Vegas buyers are actually judging. See, I want to walk you through this presentation are presented and how the home that sells fast at top dollar are presented. And that gap is worth real money. The Las Vegas relocation buyer, which is a massive segment of the active buyer pool in this city right now, is making preliminary decisions from a phone screen in California, Oregon, Texas, before they even set foot in Nevada. Your listing photos, your listing video, your digital presence, that is your first showing. And for a lot of buyers, it is the showing that determines whether they even schedule an in-person visit at all. I've seen beautiful homes sit on the market because the photography was flat, the staging was an afterthought, and the listing description read like it was written in 3 minutes by someone who had somewhere to be and just threw something up. And I've seen modest homes, not the biggest, not the fanciest, move fast and well because the presentation was exceptional, because the photography made the space feel larger and warmer than expected, because the staging told a story about the life you could live in that home, because the listing description was actually compelling and specific rather than generic. Professional photography is a non-negotiable. Drone footage matters in Las Vegas. Our geography, our mountain views, our neighborhood context is legitimately beautiful from above. Video walkthroughs matter because relocation buyers need to be able to walk through a home mentally before they even book a flight. And staging, even light staging, even just strategic furniture placement and decluttering consistently returns more than it costs. Every time. The bottom line, if a buyer can fall in love with your home from 1,500 miles away, you win. That's the goal of presentation, and it requires intentional investment and not an afterthought. Point number 5, the relocation buyer advantage. The secret audience most agents ignore. This one is specific to Las Vegas, and it is a genuine competitive advantage most listing agents are not fully leveraging right now. Las Vegas is one of the top relocation destination cities in the United States right now. People are moving here from California, the Pacific Northwest, from the Midwest, from the East Coast, in significant numbers, consistently, month over month. These are motivated buyers. They have real purchasing power. They have often already made the decision to move. They're just deciding where in the valley to land. Most listing agents market to the local MLS audience. They post on Zillow, they put on the sign in the yard, and for whoever's already in Las Vegas looking for a house to find them. Smart listing agents actively market to relocation audience. That means targeting digital advertising to people in specific California markets who are showing intent signals around Nevada and Las Vegas. It means content marketing, videos, social posts, neighborhood storytelling. That reaches people who are researching this city before they're even committed to moving. It means being connected to the relocation agent networks that have pre-qualified buyers ready to move within 90 days. Your home competes differently when you're not just competing for the attention of locals. You're also visible to the entire relocation pipeline flowing into the city. I've sold homes in this market to buyers who were still in San Francisco when they first saw their listing. They did a video walkthrough, they flew in for one day, they made an offer. That's the relocation buyer in action. And they are a powerful segment of the buyer pool that most listing strategies completely ignore. If your agent isn't actively marketing to relocation audiences, you're fishing in a smaller pond than you need to be. Point number 6, offer management. How to create competition instead of hoping for it. Let me go ahead and tell you something about offers that most sellers don't understand until they're in the middle of a negotiation. One offer is a transaction. Multiple offers are leverage. And leverage is the difference between accepting a number and commanding one. Most sellers receive an offer and immediately start thinking about whether to accept or to counter. That's a reactive position. A strategic seller with a strategic agent receives an offer and immediately starts thinking about how to use it to create competitive pressure. That means communicating to all active and interested parties that offers are in play. It means setting a clear offer review timeline that creates urgency without alienating the buyer. It means understanding which terms matter more than just price. Financing type, close of escrow timeline, inspection contingencies, leaseback options, and knowing how to evaluate an offer holistically rather than just looking at the top line number. I had a seller in Henderson, resale home, solid condition, good neighborhood. We received an initial offer that was reasonable, but below where we wanted to be. Rather than counter immediately, we used that offer as the catalyst to reach back out to 3 other parties who had toured the home but hadn't moved on it yet. Within 48 hours, we had 3 offers on the table. The final accepted offer was $14,000 above the initial offer we received, with better terms. And that's not magic, that is management. The correct move. Your agent's job doesn't end when an offer comes in. That's when the real strategy begins. If your agents respond to an offer is to just hand it to you and say, "What do you think?" without a clear game plan for how to leverage the moment, that's a problem. Point number 7, the post-agreement period where deals die and how to protect yours. Last point, and this one doesn't get talked about enough because everyone gets so focused on the offer that they forget about everything that comes after. Going under contract is not selling your home. It is the beginning of a 30 to 45 day process during which a lot of things can go wrong. Inspection issues, appraisal gaps, financing hiccups, buyer cold feet, title complications. In Las Vegas specifically, particularly with the volume of relocation buyers who are navigating an out-of-state transaction while simultaneously managing life in another city, the post-agreement period requires active management from your agent, not passive processing. That means understanding the inspection report as a renegotiation tool. It means knowing your options when an appraisal comes in below purchase price, which is different from knowing your obligation. It means having relationships with title companies, lenders, and transaction coordinators who move with urgency when the timeline gets tight. I've seen deals that were locked and loaded fall apart in the final week because nobody was actively managing the moving parts. And I've seen deals that looked like they were going sideways, stabilize, and close cleanly because someone on the listing side was paying attention and communicating clearly throughout it all. A good listing agent is not just a marketer, they're a transaction manager. They're your advocate from the day you sign the listing agreement to the day keys change hands. The question to ask every agent you interview: walk me through what happens after we go under contract. What does your process look like? If they give you a vague answer, that's your answer. Let me go ahead and tell you about a seller I worked with about a year ago. Let's call her Diane. Diane had already interviewed 2 other agents before she called me. Both of them had given her essentially the same pitch: put it on the MLS, price it around a certain number, see what happens. One of them had suggested pricing it at a lower to generate buzz. Neither of them talked about pre-market strategy, relocation audience targeting, or staging beyond maybe declutter a little. Diane called me because a neighbor had used me and told her to. And in our first conversation, I asked her something nobody else had asked her. What does a great outcome look like for you? Not on price, but on timeline and terms. She needed to close within a specific window because she was buying in another state simultaneously. That timing component was very important to her as the price, and nobody had asked about it. We built a strategy around both: price precisely, launched with a pre-market buildup, targeted relocation buyers specifically because they tend to move faster with less contingencies, complexity. Staged the home intentionally for the photography. We closed in 22 days on her timeline, above asking, with a clean transaction. Diane sent me a note after closing that I still have. She said, "I didn't know selling a home could actually feel like someone was in my corner the whole time." And that's the standard. And every seller deserves that. All right. I want to be straightforward with you about something. Everything I've walked you through today, the pre-market strategy, the precision pricing, the relocation audience targeting, the offer management, the post-agreement process, none of that is theoretical. This is the actual system I run for my listing clients in Las Vegas. And I'll say this: if you're in a market outside of Las Vegas and you're hearing this and thinking, "I wish I had someone like this where I live," reach out. I have a national referral network of agents I trust who operate at this same standard in markets across the country. Getting you connected to the right person costs you nothing. But if you're in Las Vegas and you're thinking about selling, this is the conversation we should be having in person before you sign anything. So if you made it to this point in the video, you're serious. And serious sellers deserve serious resources. I put together a free Las Vegas relocation and home seller guide that goes even deeper into everything we covered today: pre-market strategy checklist, pricing framework, staging ROI breakdown, what to ask every agent before you sign a listing agreement. It is all there. It is completely free. Link is in the description. Go ahead and download it. Read it before you talk to any agent, including me, because the most dangerous position you can be in is signing a listing agreement before you understand what a great listing strategy actually looks like. About your home, about your timeline, your goals, reach out. Go ahead and send me a DM on Instagram, go to my website, send me a text message. My contact information is in the description. No pressure, no pitch, just strategy. Go ahead and download the guide and let's talk. The listing strategy I walked you through today is not complicated. It's not a secret. It's just disciplined, intentional, and focused on one thing: getting you the best possible outcome from one of the biggest financial transactions you are gonna have in your life. And you deserve an agent who treats it that way, who shows up prepared, strategic, and fighting for your result. Not just processing paperwork and hoping the market does the work for them. This city is full of opportunity for sellers who position correctly. I've seen it again and again. Position correctly, execute with strategy, and win. I'm Chriscashjalem, neighbor first, realtor always, builder by nature. Las Vegas is for sale. Let's make sure when it's your turn, you sell it right. I'll see you on the next one.